Good morning, gardeners, and welcome to Monday, May 5th. Don't worry, this show has nothing to do with actual gardening, so don't run away if you're like me and can't grow green things. I'm speaking of gardening metaphorically. We're planting the seeds for a better day. We're starting our day by getting in the right mindset to cultivate a better life for ourselves, better communities, and a better world. Today, World Red Cross and Red Crescent Day. This day honors a movement that began as Red Cross Truce shortly after the First World War. The International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement is the largest humanitarian network in the world. Its mission is to alleviate human suffering, protect life and health, and uphold human dignity, especially during armed conflicts and other emergencies. On the international stage, this institution organizes and leads relief assistance missions after emergencies such as natural disasters, man-made disasters, epidemics, mass refugee flights, and other emergencies. Additionally, today and tomorrow are marked internationally as a time of remembrance and reconciliation for those who lost their lives during the Second World War. World War II began in 1939 and ended in 1945. During that time, an estimated total of 70 to 85 million people perished, or about 3% of the estimated population on the planet at that time. If you'd like to honor these international holidays by donating, I've put a link in the description of this video where you can donate to the International Red Cross and Crescent Movement. So to start today, I want to speak with you a little bit about weekends. Now, you are just getting back from your weekend, and I hope that you feel rested and, ready to start the week, energetic and just full of, excitement and aggression to tackle your goals. However, I am recording this on Friday. I record all these episodes the day or the weekday before I post them, so I am staring down the barrel of a very busy weekend. Now, in our society, we work 5 days a week and we rest for 2 of those days. But we all know that that is a lie that we are told, and that we don't actually get to rest on our weekends. If you are an adult, if you are a parent, if you, have a house or need to eat food or have to do any number of things, generally the only time that you have to do those things, and of course there are exceptions, and if you are one of those exceptions, I am so happy for you, but for most of us, we have to do these things on the weekend. And where I live, everything is closed on Sundays, so I have to cram everything: grocery shopping, errands, dry cleaning, shopping for anything at all. If I need, an article of clothing, it's on Saturday. It has to happen on Saturday. Combine that with my son is in sports and likes to do sports events. Those all also happen on, you guessed it, Saturday. Meanwhile, my personal preference for rest and relaxation is to sit at home and read a book with a cup of tea. So when do I get to do that? Well, I usually do that on Sundays, but not always, because the weekends, they seem to be full of just this never-ending, onslaught of chores. And I wonder what it would be like. And, I'm a huge proponent of the 4-day work week. It would be so great if we could all just collectively decide to have one weekday where we could do our errands, and then our weekends could actually be dedicated more towards resting. I believe that, that would work. I can see an argument that would say that, we'd still find a way to pack in more chores to our schedules, and maybe that's true, but I'm still a big proponent of the 4-day work week. But anyway, until we get the 4-day work week, we still have options. there are still things we can do. We can still cut back on things that aren't serving us. We can still find rest and relaxation where we can get it. Our feel-good moment for the day is a quote from Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. The quote is, "Our nervous system needs a certain amount of escapism." So often, many of us feel guilty for engaging in escapism, whether that is playing a video game, reading a book, watching a movie or a show. We see it as like the time spent equivalent of junk food, like junk time. And we get this feeling of guilt if we choose to rest and relax if we haven't completed our to-do lists. But the Sisyphean horror of this tendency is that there will always be something else to do. No matter how many things you accomplish, there will always be more items to check off that to-do list. Stick with me, I promise this is a feel-good moment. Anyway, if you are ambitious and or a goal-oriented person, it can sometimes feel impossible to let your mind relax. Trust me, I have struggled with that for most of my life. Well, today I'm going to give you a reason to force yourself to relax, if that's even possible. Let's just say this is your sign to figure out a way to let your mind get some rest. And I am going to give you one actionable way that you can get some mental rest. But the feel-good moment is you not only deserve it, you need it. It is a biological need. And for our learning moment today, I am going to read from, you guessed it, Psycho-Cybernetics. To back up my claim that we need rest and relaxation or escapism. If I can find the page. Okay, here it is. Your soul and your nervous system need a room for rest, recuperation, and protection every bit as much as your physical body needs a physical house, and for the same reasons. And he says, sleep is escapism. Carrying an umbrella in the rain is escapism because it's protecting, you are escaping from the rain using the umbrella. You need a certain level of that protection from the constant bombardment of not only stress, but just, stimulation that life brings. Okay. So now I'm going to read to you about your own decompression chamber. Each of us needs a quiet room inside his own mind, a quiet center within him, like the deep of the ocean that is never disturbed, no matter how rough the waves may become upon the surface. This quiet room within, which is built in imagination, works as a mental and emotional decompression chamber. It depressurizes you from tensions, worry, pressures, stresses, strains, and refreshes you and enables you to return to your workday world better prepared to cope with it. It is my belief that each personality does already have a quiet center within, which is never disturbed and is unmoved, like the mathematical point in the very center of a wheel or axle which remains stationary. What we need to do is to find this quiet center within us and retreat into it periodically for rest, recuperation, and renewed vigor. One of the most beneficial prescriptions I have ever given patients is the advice to learn to return to this quiet, tranquil center. And one of the best ways that I have found for entering this quiet center is to build for yourself, in imagination, a little mental room. Take as much care in building this room in your imagination as you would in building an actual room. Be thoroughly familiar with every detail. Then, whenever you have a few spare moments during the day, between appointments, riding the bus, retire to your quiet room. Whenever you begin to feel tension mounting, or begin to feel hurried or harried, retire into your quiet room for a few moments. Just a very few moments taken from a very busy day in this manner will more than pay for themselves. It is not time wasted, but time invested. And as I said previously, yes, this is escapism. Sleep is escapism. Carrying an umbrella in the rain is escapism. Building yourself an actual house where you can retreat from the weather and the elements is escapism. Taking a vacation is escapism. Your mental quiet room gives your nervous system a little vacation every day. For the moment, you mentally vacate your workday duties, responsibilities, decisions, pressures, and get away from it all by mentally retiring into your no-pressure chamber. Now, I think this idea is wonderful because we can't all control our life circumstances. We can't necessarily control everything for which we are responsible. Maybe theoretically you can, but it's just not practical, and most of us wouldn't want to do it. For example, I'm a parent, and I would never want to get rid of my parental responsibilities because then it would mean I was no longer a parent, and I love being a parent. But I can't control when, my son's sports events are scheduled, when, school events are scheduled. I can't control when the stores and shops are open, the fact that everything closes at 5 p.m. on every weekday, and everything is also closed on Sunday, so I have to do it all on Saturday. I can't control those things. But I can control what I do with my mind. And when I have a quiet moment to myself, whether I'm going to open my phone and scroll TikTok, or am I going to close my eyes and give myself a little bit of mental rest. So for today's focus moment, let's start building this room in our minds. What color are the walls? You might want to make it your favorite color, or if you're like me and are very easily overstimulated, you might want to make the walls white or eggshell. What about the floor? Are we going with hardwood floors? Are we going to lay carpets in this room? And then furnish it with your favorite type of cozy chair and decorate it with all of your favorite things. If you are really good at visualization, you can get, really into this. You can put paintings of from your favorite artists on the walls. You can put photos of your favorite memories on the walls. You can include a bookshelf with all your favorite books. But if you are not so good at visualizations, that is okay too. The room in your head doesn't actually have to be a literal room that you see in your mind's eye. If you're better with mentally calling up sound, you might play your favorite album in your head. Or you might want to just start by recalling your favorite memory and reliving the experience in whatever way makes it feel most real to you. The more details that you can bring to your mind, the better. Use all the imaginary senses you can: sight, sound, smell, taste, and physical sensations. Now, think about one time every day when you can go to this quiet place. Maybe on your morning commute, or on your lunch break, or right before you go to bed. Just one time, at least 1 minute, when you are alone and you can release everything. Release all of your attention. Let everything go mentally. So now think of this time every day and think about something that happens every day in your life that commences this time of being alone. For me, one example that I could use is every day my son goes to school, and after he goes to school, I have alone time. So with my example, I would say to myself, okay, every day after he leaves, I'm going to go to my quiet room. So now you do this. Think of something that happens every day in your life and tell yourself, the next time this happens, you'll go into this quiet place in your mind for at least 1 minute. And then give it a try for a week or two, and if you find this practice helpful, you can gradually increase the frequency and time spent in this quiet place. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. I will speak with you again tomorrow.